go to video number 7. It's Glenn Beck, and he's talking about how the health care bill is basically oppressing the United States.
People pay close attention to this. You'll learn something.
History will equate this as big as the New Deal or Pearl Harbor. And if you think that's overstating the importance, remember we are talking about 1/6 of the U.S. economy. Now, they're transitioning to make healthcare a right, along with education, just as FDR planned on doing. Oh, the second Bill of Rights, FDR, unfinished revolution, and why we need it more. Oh, written by Cass Sunstein, the guy I've been saying for about a year is the most evil man, most dangerous man in America. This has been the plan from the beginning. FDR fought for his second Bill of Rights idea. A charter, as the president has pointed out, not of negative liberties, but things that the government must do. Healthcare, education, along with housing, food, and a good job. Fundamental rights the government must provide all citizens. Gee, that doesn't sound like our government, does it? Doesn't sound like America. Well, he died before he could get the second Bill of Rights done. Beginning in 1948, his wife got the job done. Eleanor Roosevelt, chairman of the Commission on Human Rights, pushed for universal rights for all. So the UN has this declaration. It includes fundamental rights that would legally be binding to all nations that ratified them. In 1966, they passed more covenants that included the right to a job. We understand that the Soviet Union tried it and failed. China tried it and failed. North Korea tried it and failed. Poland tried it and failed. Tried it and failed the world over. None of the states that have promised to take care of their people have been able to deliver on that promise, and so they end up shooting their people. The only thing they've been able to deliver on is the promise of oppression that always comes with total government. I warn you, America. Oppression is one promise our government will keep.
Now, let's start. Okay, first of all, that Eleanor Roosevelt wanting universal rights for all people, universal rights for all, what a bitch.
I know, what a
right?
bitch.
I mean, that's just disgusting. But secondly, when did the government promise to oppress us? Did you get that memo?
Yeah, the government never promised to oppress us.
Right. Okay. Secondly, I love the way he says it's going to be as big as the New Deal. It's going to be as big as Pearl Harbor, as if like the New Deal and
Pearl Harbor are similar things.
Same.
Right.
New Deal, Pearl Harbor, save millions of people from starvation, bomb a bunch of people and kill them. Yeah. Okay. I made a few notes as we went along, and I'll get back to this 1/6 of the economy thing in a minute. But okay. He says they want to say healthcare is a right, like education's a right. It doesn't sound like America. He says, well, education is supposed to be a right in America. So what is Glenn Beck saying? Is he saying that we want to take the right of having an education in America away? Is that his position? Because that's a news gatherer. I also love the fact that he said he keeps going after Cass Sunstein. If you know anything about Cass Sunstein, he's a total middle-of-the-road, centrist guy. Plus, if you've ever seen a picture of Cass Sunstein, he's the most mild-mannered, he's a professor. So to make a devil out of Cass Sunstein, of all people, is insane. And I love this idea of negative liberties, meaning that that's all he wants is negative liberties. He doesn't think liberty means the right to health, to, what is it, in the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He thinks negative liberty is the only kind of liberty, meaning the right to be left alone. So to make as much money as you want, to steal as much as you want, whatever it is. So, and where did we get that China failed?
I don't know.
China failed, he
When
said.
did China fail? I'd like to know.
They're kicking our butt.
They're
right
kicking
now.
our butt when it comes to education, when it comes to the economy. They
They
kicking
own
our
us, for one thing.
Exactly.
So, and then, you know, he has this talking point that they all have, that health reform would revolutionize 1/6 of the economy. We talked about it yesterday, right?
Yes.
So 1/6 of the economy, but half of that is already run by the government through Medicare and Medicaid. So it's really, you're talking about 1/12 of the economy. Then when you talk about the part of it that would actually be affected by reform in terms of the government stepping in, that's about 1/10 of that. So you're really talking about
1/12 of the economy.
1.2% of the economy, and they're not taking it over. They're just helping people who can't afford it for themselves. And they are adding new rules for individuals and new rules for employers and new rules for insurance companies, but nobody's taking over anything. I wish, but they're not.
So this is what I got out of that, okay? When I was watching him speak in that clip, it took me back to the days when I did speech and debate. Now, why do I bring that up? I bring that up because one of the things that we were taught in persuasive speaking is, even if you know that your facts are not right, even if you know that you're making an argument that has no real logic behind it, all you need to do is speak like this and get real riled up, and people will all of a sudden believe that everything you're saying makes sense and it's 100% true.
Yeah, that's what Cenk does.
Well, Cenk does do that, but fortunately he actually has facts and figures to back
I
it
was just being funny.
But that's the reason why he has such a huge audience. Because A, Americans are angry right now, and they're looking for someone that they can relate to when it comes to that anger and when it comes to that energy. So you watch him, and everything he's saying makes no sense at all.
No.
And he has his history completely mixed up, right? But he's talking like this, and he seems very, very sure of what he's saying, and people believe it. And that's why a huge population in the United States is misinformed, and they have absolutely no idea of what's going on. And they look at the healthcare reform and they're thinking, yes, this is a way that the government is trying to oppress us.
Well, no question. And there's that 20% of the country that wants to be led, and that's the audience for Glenn Beck. And all you have to do is look into the camera and say, people of America, they're promising to oppress us. The socialist republic that FDR tried to start, and that his horrible witch of a wife tried to push down the throat of the entire human race. It's coming now. We have to stop it. We have to stop it. And then you let your voice get very quiet and you say, because if there's one promise they're going to keep, it's the promise of oppression. That's how you do it.
That's Persuasion 101.
Go for it.
If you like this clip, you'll love the whole show. You can watch that at theyoungturks.com.